Stephen and Liam are also activists. Both are involved in environmental campaigns, and you may not agree with their methods. We're always happy to hear from you if you want to put another side of the story across. Stephen works in the theatre and the arts. He lives with his wife and teenage daughter in Lisbon. He's a member of Extinction Rebellion and is part of the Red Label Brigade. That's a performance artist troupe using creativity to raise awareness about the threat to our planet. Liam is 10 years younger than him, and he grew up in Croydon and Red Hill. After working on building sites and in TV production and training to be an electrician, Liam's biggest commitment now is to the fight against climate change too, and he's a member of Insulate Britain. He's been arrested more than 20 times. Liam starts.
I saw the front page of The Guardian in October 2018, and it had a letter signed by 100 academics and religious leaders, one of them being the former Archbishop of Canterbury. And basically the letter said that it was now morally justifiable to go and get arrested to protest the government's inaction on the climate and ecological crisis. And I kind of knew the climate was a problem, but I purposefully avoided it because ignorance is bliss in a way. And this front page kind of pricked my attention up because it's like the former Archbishop of Canterbury saying that you should go and get arrested.
Personally, I am not in a position to be arrested just because of the work I do, and I would have no other way of supporting my family, and so that's a personal decision that I have to make. So I'm from a theatre and arts background, and so I think whenever I joined XR, part of the reason why they were glad to have me was that I could bring those kind of theatrical carnival type skills to direct action on the streets. I've helped to formulate big creative actions drawing attention to petroleum licensing in Northern Ireland, water quality in Northern Ireland, sea level rises, the destruction of beautiful habitats like all the country around where Seamus Heaney lived and wrote his poems here in Northern Ireland, to do with driving massive roads through all that. So the idea that it's all about getting arrested sits uneasily with me. What do you think about that, Liam?
I think we can constantly challenge those ideas of what we can and can't do. And this isn't a judgment on you, Stephen, at all. Everybody's got to make their own decisions, and I completely respect that. Non-violent civil resistance is not passive. It's not standing outside with a placard. And unfortunately, it isn't doing a really fancy, creative action, which is great and it looks great, but the government can just ignore it. That's not what non-violent civil resistance is. It's not that we fetishize arrest necessarily, but it's that it means stopping the wheels of the system from functioning properly. And that's the only way that they're going to stop and listen to us. That's my belief, you know.
I heard a very interesting thing on Radio 4 where a spokesperson from Just Stop Oil was being asked by the presenter, why do you have to do these things that inconvenience everybody? You know, could you not just go and put 1 million billboards up? And that idea that somehow we're doing this for a laugh, or that we're doing it because, you know, we feel our opinion, in inverted commas, is more important than whether people are disrupted getting to work and things like that. The science is absolutely clear, and it is not something it is our opinion. It's just the inaction that needs to be tackled. And yes, we're angry and there's rage, but there's also, it's all done with love. You know, we love our home and our fellow human beings, and that's why we are doing this, out of desperation.
Yeah, I think that's my big justification. You know, when we were on the motorways last year with Insulate Britain and people were dragging our members off the road, screaming at us, abusing us on the internet, it's that real kind of understanding from us that what we're doing is about love. You're completely right.
I also think it's very interesting and horrifying a couple of weeks ago when the IPCC report came out saying that unless we wanted to keep global warming to 1.5 degrees, change had to happen absolutely immediately, no ifs, no buts. And then the very next day, we had members of the government saying, Oh my goodness, we have energy security issues highlighted by the war in Ukraine. We have a cost of living crisis. Right, first thing to go is the green levies. And let's look again at that ban on fracking, because we need to be realistic now that we're in this situation.
Yeah, I think denial is like an incredibly powerful human driver. Lots of people aren't prepared to consider the end of human civilization as we know it, and how much of my time am I willing to put into painting a banner or sit on the road or sit in a police cell or sit in a courtroom, whatever it is that you're deciding to do. But that's a constant battle. I'm sure that you've experienced that as well.
Absolutely. I know that people would say, well, boo-hoo, it's your choice, but it really does not feel like a choice. This is, in such an emergency. We're also putting ourselves out to be humiliated a lot of the time. We get called all sorts of horrible things by the people that do disagree with us or don't understand why we're doing it, or don't care why we're doing it. I just think one thing we have to remember is that no matter what our approaches, no matter what our methods are, that we are all standing for the same thing, which is that immediate halt to the use of and extraction of fossil fuels. Anything that we can do to make the outcomes less appalling than they are going to be is worth every second.
Liam and Stephen were recorded by Cathy Moorhead at BBC Radio Ulster. It's Listening Project at bbc.co.uk. If you want to get in touch with us, you can have a chat too. There's no bar to entry, and the only rule is that you listen as well as talk.